Podcast 10, Meditation. The goals of Podcast 10 are to define meditation, give some practical applications, and an assignment. Meditation has a number of synonyms, such as mindfulness, relaxation. There's a Zen meditation where the alpha wave is very big compared to the other waves, and yoga meditation where the alpha and theta waves are balanced. Since the 1960s, there has been a growing interest in the relationship between meditative states and their brainwave correlates. The data from these early studies and those from later studies all report an increase in the alpha brainwave, particularly in the Zen meditative state. As we've mentioned previously about the brainwaves, there's 4 spontaneous brainwaves. They all have Greek names. The slowest is delta, which is related to sleep. Theta, the next fastest waves, are related to creativity. These are the thoughts that wake us up in the morning and keep us from going to sleep at night. That's when the theta waves are very active. The alpha waves are a balance between the theta and beta waves, and this is in the zone state, in the groove, and this is the recommended state that people should be in. It is a state of relaxation, but also very good awareness and concentration. The fastest of the spontaneous brainwaves is known as beta. And the best example I can give is when we're rushing around, there seems to be less than 60 minutes in an hour. Regarding how the brain works in relation to the brainwaves, there's 2 major theories. One is the specialization theory proposed by Broca, which we learned about in a recent podcast, that each part of the brain has a specific function. For example, the left temporal area is for speech, the frontal area is for planning, and the back of the head, the occipital area, is for vision. The holographic theory states that each brain cell contains all the information of the whole brain, just as any point on a holographic photo contains the entire picture. We can measure the brain waves quite accurately now with modern electronics. And we can give a diagrammatic representation of them to help explain them. So as mentioned before, there are the 4 brainwaves, and these are the associated behaviors with them. A number of years ago, we conducted an experiment with 2 rabbis, very scholarly and saintly individuals who regularly meditate when they're doing their prayers. And the question was, when they're doing their meditation, what happens to the theta wave, alpha wave relationship? Each rabbi had 2 conditions, a baseline of their normal theta and alpha brainwaves, and then a recording of their alpha and theta brainwaves while they were in a state of meditative concentration, as they would be during prayer. This is Rabbi 1's baseline on top, and if we compare it to the meditative state, we see readily that the theta waves are much smaller. So his concentration is much better, his mind is not wandering, and we see that the alpha waves are more in synchrony with the theta waves as opposed to the baseline condition. Rabbi 2's baseline is quite similar. During the meditative state, the theta waves are smaller, and his alpha waves were larger, noticeably larger, than in the baseline state, showing that it is the alpha state that is the preferred meditative state. The results are not surprising, as it has been well known, as mentioned before, that the alpha brainwaves are related to the good state of meditation. But it's nice to have some hard documentation to support that. Here are some references if anyone's interested in pursuing the topic further. These are the classic references, which I prefer because they give more of the background and history of the topic. As an assignment, how many times a day do you meditate? If you do, how do you feel afterward as compared to prior to before your meditation? If you do not, why not start now? If you have any questions or would like more information, please feel free to contact me.